So let's talk seedling progress. So my grow light rack is a combination of a few items. Let me turn for a better view here, right? So this is a 5-rack grow light system, or not even, it's a 5-rack storage rack that I bought, just like you would buy for your garage. It's fairly large. I think it's like 72 inches high, probably about 48 inches wide. Purchased this on Amazon. Of course, it has multiple uses, but my purpose for it was setting it up as a grow rack. So if I go back in the landscape mode, I can get up a bit closer on how this works. So I've got a 4-foot T5 hydro grow light. It is attached with an S-hook and the hanging piece all comes with it. I bought this light system on Amazon. It retails for like $105 a light, but I actually got this open box price. Last I checked, there were 12 available, and it'll save you about $40 a light. So I paid about $60 open box price. Outside of that, I've got some grow trays. This clear plastic piece is the humidity dome. It also comes with a tray with the inserts to actually plant the plants. And these are trays that capture the water, which makes it easier to keep things hydrated. One of the most important parts of seed starting is to keep moist soil. The humidity dome helps trap the moisture in. The tray that it sits in holds excess water. It allows for you to water from the bottom where the soil wicks up the water that it needs. And it allows for water to collect without spilling down on this system, so that it'll have an extra water reservoir as needed. So like I said, I've got 4 of these, and you'll notice that they're plugged into each other in what's called a daisy chain setup. My first 2 racks currently sit empty because it wasn't time to start all of my seeds. So on the back of your seed track or your seed pack, you'll get instructions on when to start before your last average frost date. For us here in Georgia, and usually North Carolina, Georgia, a little further south, our last frost date is April 15th. So what I'm doing is, I can actually bring you up a packet and show you what I mean. So here's a packet of hot pepper. Let's let it focus. There you go. Hot pepper Carnival Cayenne blend seed. I bought this from Johnny Seeds, one of my favorite resources for online shopping of seeds, because they have all of these instructions on the back. So notice it says start these pepper seeds indoors 8 weeks before transplanting. So what I do is I check that information for every kind of seed I'm starting, and I count back from April 15th, which is our last frost date, when it's safe to put sensitive plants outside. And 8 weeks before April 15th is when I'll drop these seeds. I'm actually a little late on starting this particular one, mainly because I've run out of supplies. I need some more seed starting soil. But this is just good info to understand. Your information on how to be successful with your seeds is on the back. Things like how soon to start it before your last frost date, as well as the depth. So notice the next sentence says, plant the seeds 1/4 of an inch deep and 1 inch apart. So that's my indicator of when I'm starting these seeds to only go down 1 inch, 1/4 of an inch. And this varies. Some seeds only need to go down 1/8 of an inch. Some need to go down a full inch. Some don't even want to be buried. They need light to germinate. So this is the instructions that I'm looking at, as well as that days to maturity, right? So it's telling me from the day I start this until the day I can get some peppers, I've got 75 days. So there's a lot of calendar management when it comes to properly starting your seeds. So that's one of the basics to understand. And then what I want to do is give you guys a few different options to start seeds. Because let's see, we're in February. There's still plenty of time to get things started. And you don't necessarily need a grow light system like I've got set up. Part of the reason why I went this route is because I'm looking to, one, experiment with this process. Two, I want to start a bunch of seeds. It's a more economical way to fill up your garden, right? A pack of seeds on average costs like $1. You can buy seeds from the $1.25 store. They work. You can buy seeds online. Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, all of those seeds work. The key to success is the back of the packet. Again, Johnny Seeds, where I got these seeds from, actually, I'm tripping. I got these from Gurney's, another good one in terms of information. This is an online store, still the same type of pricing you would find in store. Online shopping allows you to find seeds that may not be as popular. Try some new varieties. But if you get a seed pack and it doesn't have this type of information on it, don't worry. Google is definitely your friend. Anything you can't find on the back of the packet will be available to you online with a little research, right? So yeah, I want to take you all through this seed starting process and hopefully give you some information that will be helpful to you all as you try to experiment, because that is part of the fun. For every seed that I've successfully germinated and was able to plant outside, I failed with others. So if you approach it with the idea of it's all about experimenting and embrace the possibility that not everything would be successful, yeah, you can really enjoy this process. It's a lot of fun. It's something that isn't expensive. It's accessible to everyone. It's something that kids can enjoy, so it's family friendly. That's part of the reason why I enjoy this hobby so very much. So let me peek in on some of the things that I've actually been successful with so you guys can kind of see. So I started this tray of seeds on February 18th. And this particular one is filled with some things that germinate quickly. Let me pull it out. Oh, it's heavy. See, I'll sit it on my lap here. Give you a closer look. So first, let me start off with my labeling system so you understand how I keep myself organized. So I've got some tags that are at the beginning of each row that tell me what I sowed, the date I sowed it, and on the back, typically I put in how many days to germination. Here's an example of one I did. I forget to do it for all. So look, success already. Again, I sowed these on 2/18. This one in the back is calendula. In the center here, I don't see any action. If I remember correctly, these are cone flowers. Planted in seed starting mix and covered up with vermiculite. Then I've got another few things that are starting to germinate. This is Rebecca. See that green in there? Or black-eyed Susan. Pretty good germination across the board. But again, you don't have to be as organized as this setup. I'm going to take the time this week to show you some really simple ways to start seeds. A lot of these things can be put directly in the ground, like sunflowers, zinnias, cucumbers, squash, those hot summer loving types of seeds. It's not the time to do that way, but that time is approaching. Now, the things that are a bit more cold hardy, which we'll talk about later, perennials versus annuals, or even some shrubs, because I mean, believe it or not, you can cut a piece of a shrub and stick it in the ground and build you a whole new shrub, okay? So things like winter sowing, which is just putting the things in milk jugs. I want to talk you through that process. Some really basic beginner ways to get your hands started with seeds and just have fun, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's nothing more fun than starting something and watch it come to life from just a little seed. So stay tuned. Lots more seeds to start up there in that top box. Let me get to it. All the way up there on the corner are all the other seeds I've got. I've got enough space in here to start 250 seeds at a time. Okay, so this is pretty intense, but I got a lot of landscape to cover, so that explains why. But nonetheless, I want to show you guys some ways that are easy to get started, doesn't take a lot of setup, and you should more than likely be successful. So here's the teaser. I promise to put out more content like this. So I'll keep you posted. Happy gardening.